Greeting fellow modelers, I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another in the Scissor and Plane series presenting the French fighter Potez 630. Well, without further ado, let's begin. So here we have the Potez 630. I don't know why I was sleeping on these models. Anyway, let's begin by starting the wings. Get the wings right and everything else flows. So here I'm cutting out the wings. And then I started to form the habit of doing the dihedral structure spars. And now I'm doing the inboard wing panel. And here you see I am making sure that the wing root fairing is put in the up position. We just link that there. And then we're doing the outer panel. Using my cake decorating tool, I make sure to put some rounding in the tip and get into the practice of painting the edges where it needs to be painted. Here I'm putting the joiner panel in. Nice. And then I am cutting the joiner strip so that it will bend in the angle that it needs to be and being reinforced once I put the spar in. And here you see I'm cutting the spar. Folding, just cut off that excess. We put it in to maintain that correct dihedral, and we're good. And then we just repeat the same for the other side. Now, all you just need to do is slightly tack it and you should be good. Here now, we're going to start with the fuselage. The fuselage is really cool to do. I usually just cut the panels out, put aside, form the individual panels, and then put the joint strip. Here, I am ahead of time cutting the holes that will receive the toothpick. Those holes are cut along panel lines so they will be equal on either side. Now, get into the habit of, if you can, look up the model online where you can see the 3D profile so you have an idea how to shape the fuselage, because that counts a whole lot in how your model look. Here again you see I'm painting the edge. Trust me, great habit. Painting the tail gunner section, observer tail gunner. Putting the joiner strip. We paint the edge to the second one. So as you can see, my format is paint the edge, build that fuselage panel, and then join each other. To make sure the rear fuselage panels, I make sure join the tip first before I join it to the main body, as you can see here. Nice. Look how it's coming together pretty decent. I love it. And now we do the nose section. Of course, that was already painted. We just form up. And then the very nose, we're going to take our time. So I just join these two last pieces together separately, and then I join it to the main fuselage panel. Here you see I'm using a toothpick. Get the general shape. Nice. Look at that, man. And again, for the proper shaping or the proper cross section, just refer to any 3D drawing that you find of the model we are building. It really helps you. Joiner strip in, join the tip of the nose. You see I'm using that tiny cake decorating tool with a ball on the end. So we join this here. Nice. Using my flat tweezer, making sure, and then we put everything together. And that, ladies and gentlemen, the fuselage. Now, to put this together, we're going to use our toothpick from the hole that we have pre-cut, snap off the excess, and it looked like I'm destroying the fuselage, but no, I'm creating the hole for a reason. So now that we're going to join it, align it, making sure that it's aligned, the panel lines are aligned, okay? And that hole I create is to push the panel out, the fuselage, so that the glue will hold, the glue on the wing will hold better. Repeat the same process to the other side. And where the camo, the green camo, we just simply paint it so that it joins. There we go. Look at that. Of course, we just use our paintbrush handle to make sure that the joints are even. Finish paint up the edges where it needs to be painted up. And now we're going to do the canopy. Canopy is basically straightforward. I'm going to cut it out, and then I just use diluted silver paint to paint the panels. See the reflection? Use a toothpick to put a nice bend in there. We just make sure put the proper bend on front. We join the panel using a strip. Nice. Look at that. The thing is, what I love with these models at this scale, again, it takes very little space. And this build can be accomplished with a couple of hours, and is a great step up from Fiddler's Green kit. Great. Now let's work on the stabilizer, the tail section. We cut the parts out, and then as a habit, I just use my steel rule to simply bend the leading edge, because it's thick enough so you're not going to leave a crease in it. We join the trailing edge. Okay. And then we make sure that we leave the cord, as I call it, the wing cord, and then we put on securely to the tail. Always check to make sure that it's aligned. Then we put in the fins. For the fin now, these parts here, I decided to cut a slot out, and then I sped this up so you can see that it's hundreds of little cuts to go around. That's how I cut it out. That's just my thing, okay? I'm cutting a strip of card. I'm going to put into that slot I made, and then I'm going to glue on the inside. Cut the excess off, and then I'm going to use my decorating tool to just make it stand out, put curves on it, paint the edges of them individually, and then put glue, join it. Look at that. Then we'll just put a little glue and join it. The Potez 630, I think the only thing it really suffered from was just poor engine. Okay, it was underpowered. Other than that, it was said to be highly maneuverable, and I really love how this kit turned out so far. Great work by both Bruno and Brent with the recolor. Here's the engine, and this alone is a masterpiece by itself. It's a lot to put together, as you can see here. Now, you may not see me keep showing that I paint the edges, but where the edges need to be painted, make sure they're painted. Putting together the intake for the engine was quite a challenge in and of itself. I hope that the close-up that I did of it, you got a chance to see how I formed that intake. It's really a beautiful kit. This caused me to want to go down the rabbit hole of seeing what other French fighters were there that I didn't pay attention to. Let me do some, okay? And if you have any French fighters that you would like to see me do, let me know in the comment, and I'll just look on them to see when can I do those. And here now we're doing the cowling. And the cake decorating tool is one of the most useful tool I've ever had to form compound curves. of the paper to form those beautiful cowling. And always remember, much as you can, get into the habit of painting the edges. It really helps. Here you see I'm putting it now onto the cowling, the intake, and that, my friend, is what brings it alive. Here now, I'm putting in the engine face, the block of it. I got a 0.5 mm strip of card and I mounted on it for to reinforce, painting the inside of the cowling, and then I just glue this in position once locked in properly. And it came up pretty decent. Here now, I'm just putting scrap as a joiner strip, cut it up nicely, and join them all. This is what makes the model come alive. And I love how it came out. Really happy with it. Look at that. Beautiful. We just clean up what we need to clean up, and there we go. Nice. We're not quite finished with the engine yet, because just on the outside of the cowling, we have another set of intakes, which, as you see here, how I form it to put it on, just follow what you see. I found that I am happy, more than happy to do these things because one, they lack specific instruction for specific models, how to put together a scissor plane, and that's something that I really want other people to avoid the mistakes I've made, so that you can form your own model too. Here, the cannon was made using, I think it's 0.6 mm or 0.8 mm solder wire. So you see, I just put it in, cut, and just put in the appropriate place. So those will be the cannon underneath the fuselage. I can see easily how this could be mistaken in a high-speed fight for a Messerschmitt 110. Let's go down the rabbit hole now and see how I built my landing gear. This now is where, boy, rubber meets road, so to speak. You'll see clearly how I put it together. Just follow this. Again, I went down the rabbit hole trying to figure out how did it look, and looking on old drawings, actual drawings of the Potez 630. And yeah, I think I got it correctly. And even this here was the retract system, the struts, landing gear struts. And yeah, it came out nicely. So once I got those in and put the wheel in, it's a typical way how we have always built our wheel. So there's nothing new there. You can look at other drawings to see how it's done, other videos to see how I build it. And here's an additional piece that wasn't in the kit. I just decided, hey, it needed the wheel guard, for lack of a better term. Here I'm putting silver paint on the white strip just to hide it, and then just putting that little extra piece. And yeah, it came alive. I love just the little things like that. In doing the spinner and the join to the engine, this here, the only thing that will challenge you is the size. Other than that, it's just pretty straightforward. We just cut where the front of it would be placed, cut the pieces out, and join together. I really love how this model turned out. Really unique design. And in many ways, even though it looks uniquely beautiful, I think it's mainly because of the V-tail, the dihedral, acute dihedral that's on the stabilizer. Other than that, I can see how it's mistaken easily for BF110. Here we mount it onto the engine block. And now onto that, we're going to put our spinner. If there's anything I would say to build great models, invest if you can in finding a cake decorating tool. In the future, I'm going to see if I can find it on Amazon, and I'm going to put a link in the description so you can find it and buy it in case you would like it. And don't neglect the use of toothpick and good set of tweezers. And here we just finish up with our spinner, and then we just paint it. And it came out really, really good. I love this scale. I'm actually starting to become addicted to this scale, so I have to be very mindful. But the model came out really nice. After this, to just put the spinner together and put it on the aircraft, I forgot the tail wheel. So after I mount this, it was a tail wheel. Here we go. Nice. Good little paint job there. And then we cut our tail wheel out. We fold it. Put it along the center line at the tail section. And here you see I'm doubling the blade, the prop blade, and then I join them and I paint them. And pretty much that was it. And after that, finishing touches, beautiful model came out. First of all, I want to thank you for getting this far, and especially my Patreon members for really helping me be able to purchase these models, to build them and present them. So until then, my friends, take care, walk good, enjoy life, be gentle to yourself, and hey, you know you're great. Take care, one love.